Hey guys, it's me Stephanie, or Steffi Bella. I am here today to make a maybe not so quick video. A lot has been happening since the last time I made a video, as well as not very much along the knitting lines. You'll have to excuse me, I am still getting over a sinus infection slash toothache slash congested cough. I don't exactly know what it is because I don't go to the doctor. So, anyways, I wanted to start off with acquisitions. I actually have an acquisition segment this time. And if you remember in my Crafty Goals video, one of my goals was to visit a yarn store, like an official, like legit yarn store, not just Michael's or Joann's, because I had never been in one. And my husband took me 2 weeks ago to a little shop called Knit This, Purl That in Pleasanton, California. And I was in there for like an hour and a half just staring. So a lot of the times when I go to buy more yarn, I have projects in mind, and then when I get to the store, I don't know what I need because I'm just so like distracted. And a lot of the times I forget to write like a list of things that I need, which is very helpful in getting me in and out quicker. And I know that my husband appreciates that. So anyways, I was in there for an hour and a half, not knowing what I wanted to get. I knew I wanted to get sock yarn because one of my goals was to get started on knitting socks. And in that same goal, I needed sock knitting needles. So yarn, needles, possibly sock pattern. I don't know if all yarn stores do this, but this store offered to print off patterns from your Ravelry queue or from your Ravelry, and if the pattern seller allows, they will purchase, well, you can purchase the pattern through the store, and then they'll print it out for you with the fees like $1 or something like that, which is fine because I can't print out patterns where I live, and it's a colored pattern, so I was excited about that too. So I had a pattern printed out, which I do have it with me, never mind, okay, scratch that. So anyways, into what I got at the store. Did I say the store is in Pleasanton, California, which is about maybe 10-15 minutes from where I live. I don't know if I said that, but I wanted to say it again just in case. First of all, I caked up one of the yarns. I got two hanks of yarn. One is the Berraco Ultra Fine Alpaca, and I've never spent this much money on yarn. One hank, skein, whatever you want to call it. I've never spent that much money on one yarn. So I think that's what also kept me in the store a little bit longer, because I kind of felt like, oh my god, this is like so expensive, but I think I deserve it, so I got it anyways. So let me see. Berraco Ultra Alpaca Fine. It is 3.5 ounces or 100 grams or 433 yards, which is 400 meters. It's 50% Peruvian wool, 30% nylon, and 20% superfine alpaca. There's no color. It says color 1285 and made in Peru. The size 1, so it's super fine. And then I should say that the knitting needle suggestion on here is a size 2, which is a 3 millimeter. And being not a newbie, I should have known to look at the label for the yarn, the needle suggestion, but I didn't. I was basing it off of a YouTuber who was knitting socks with size 0 needles. So I got a size 0 needles for yarn that requires a size 2. Don't ask me why, I don't know. But anyways, here is the yarn all caked up. And it is pretty true to color in here, minus the cat hair. There is little green, I don't know if you can see that, little green hairs flecked through, and it's like a jewel toned blue and a jewel toned, I want to say teal. So it's blue teal with bright green little hair flecks, and it is super fine. And on the under end of this ball, I have started 2 at a time toe up socks excuse me, with a simple pattern that I found on Pinterest, which I will link below in the description box. And this is how far I've gotten. So I have 2 toes, but because I am knitting on smaller than suggested needles, it's curling really badly. And I know for a fact that these are not how big they're supposed to be, because I'm at the point in the toe where I'm supposed to do 1 more increase and then 1 more just regular stockinette, and then that should be done. That's it for the toe. And I mean, I can only fit 3 fingers in here. How am I supposed to fit 5 toes? I don't know. So anyways, the needles. These are ChiaoGoo 100 centimeter 40 inch size 0, which is 2 millimeter knit red lace, and I'm doing the magic loop technique, which I don't know if that was obvious for, I mean, maybe not for new knitters. I'm doing that. These are going to be frogged because I purchased some larger needles. I'm not positive on the size. I have the package right here, so I'll show you. But I did purchase some larger needles. I haven't ripped it out yet because I wanted to make this video to show you my progress before I rip it all out. Yay! I think I put the label back in. I don't know. No, the label's right here. Okay. And of course I have it in my little sheepy bag from Erin Gimme Yarn 418. It's my one and only project bag that I own. Okay, sorry about that. I had dropped something on the floor. I also wanted to show, I've had this for a while, but this is the winder that I use to wind up my yarn skeins and hanks. I usually pull from the center when I'm knitting from my skeins of yarn, but when they get too small, I like to wind them up on the ball winder. I got that on Amazon for, I believe, either $10 or $12. And if I can remember to link where I got it, I'll link it down in the description box below. And then the other yarn that I got from that yarn store. So from the yarn store, I got a pattern printed out, which I'll show later. The alpaca yarn that I've already caked up. The ChiaoGoo knitting needles, and then I got this. Okay. Before I show it to you, I picked this skein up, this hank up, I want to say at least 6 times and put it back. And I finally said, okay, if I've picked it up that many times, maybe that means I need to have it. So I have it. And it is Cascade Yarns Heritage Silk Paints, 85% merino superwash wool, and 15% mulberry silk. And it is 100 gram hank, 437 yards, 400 meters, 3.5 ounces. Made in Peru. So here's the tag. And look, I mean, like, look how gorgeous this is. It is all jewel tones. Purple, teal, burgundy, blue, green. Excuse me. I mean, when I knit this up, it will definitely be for me, because these are my colors. If you had to skein me up in a colorway, this would be me. Just look at how pretty that is. Gorgeous! So, that is what I got from my very first visit to a yarn store. Here is their information if anybody is interested. So there is that. I also wanted to share something really funny. So as I'm knitting these socks, my husband's noticing that I'm like holding it like this, trying to knit with my barely any light. So he went to Target. He told me he was going to get snacks, and he comes home with this. It's a headlight for me to wear on my head when I'm knitting in not so great lighting. I thought that was really funny. So anywho, not yarn related acquisitions. I work at Target, for those of you that don't know, and they have, of course, their Valentine's stuff out, and I'm obsessed with mugs to drink out of, even though I hate drinking hot drinks. So why I'm obsessed with drinking mugs is beyond me. You'll have to excuse me, I still have my cough and runny nose. So anyway, so I got this beautiful mug, and I think it is true to color. I love that it's like dipped, it's not all the way. They have a really, really pretty blue. It's like this color blue. They had one this color too, and like a pastel-y pink, but I chose this one. So I treated myself to a mug that I haven't drank out of yet. And what else? Okay, so I recently purchased my first like official stitch markers. I want to say official because I have the little plastic ones that you can get from Joann's or Michael's, and I really just so ugly to look at. So I made a purchase on Etsy from Cedar Grove Farms, and I'll link their information below. They're from Ohio, anyone that's interested, and they packaged it, you know, really great. My item came really quickly. I ordered it about 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and I got an email at, I want to say like 6 or 7 in the morning the next day saying that my package was already ready to ship out. It's already shipped. So here's their business card, and attached to it are my beautiful stitch markers. So I got the skull bead stitch markers, and they're on like a little gold, I guess it's called a jump ring, I don't know. Let me single one out for you. Sorry. Trying to figure out the best way to show this to you. So here's the pink one, and it's actually a lot more brighter pink, and the little beads on the top and the bottom match. So here's a pink one and a blue one and white. So there's 2 of each color, 2 pink, 2 blue, 2 white. And you can either get 6, I mean you could, I think in the listing this one is called multi because there's 2 of each, but you can get all blue, all white, or all pink, and it comes with 6 stitch markers. And let me double check that price. So the stitch markers are $5 with $1.99 shipping, so it's $6.99. And I mean, I think that that's a frickin' steal. Excuse my language, but I mean, they're obviously handmade, and I mean, they're really good quality and super cheap. Like, I think what gets me on, I mean, I know it's handmade, but I feel like sometimes it's, the prices are just like, whoa, for handmade items. So, but I mean, that's beside the point. Handmade, I know it, a lot of love and effort goes into making handmade items, so don't get me wrong, but I mean, I was just looking for something cheap because I didn't have a lot of money to spend. So my second purchase, Etsy purchase, which was same night, and it also came fairly quickly, was from Handsome Fibers from Oregon. And I wanted to keep it in the packaging because I wanted to show you like how awesomely it was packaged. So I'll block their address. I don't care if you see mine, but I mean, it says, you know, it's got the stamps, please do not bend. And then, so it comes in this envelope here. And inside this envelope is this envelope, which is wrapped in like a really heavy duty cardstock. And then, you know, my invoice, I paid $9 for the knitting needles, which I got to size 2.5, so 3mm, and it's a 40-inch length. And the shipping was $2.60, so I paid $11.60 for the needles and the shipping, and then I get all the stuff that's inside of it. So there's the outside envelope plus the cardstock plus this envelope, which has another one in there. So I paid, I want to say I paid less for these needles than I did in the yarn store. I mean, I got 2 basically free shipping packages with it, you know. So here are the needles. Excuse me, again, size 2.5, 40-inch. So when I rip out those socks, I will be recasting on with these. And I haven't decided yet if I want to stay with that same pattern or if I want to try and do a cuff down sock, because toe up, I don't know. It's the only thing that turned me on to toe up socks was the fact that the binding off would be, I don't know, I don't want to say seamless, but I feel like I'm still kind of getting the hang of linen stitch. So if I were to try cuff down, sorry, and then do linen stitch for the toe, I don't know if it would, I mean, I would be upset if I did all that work and the toe looked like shit. Oh. Sorry for the language. If the toe looked like crap. Anyways, that's all I have for acquisitions. I don't really have anything finished. I do have a work in progress that I showed you last time, the beanie that I'm making with the Bernat satin in the Bordeaux colorway. Last time I showed, I think I just had just the ribbing, the brim on here, and I have it on my Ravelry projects page, and I queued up a pattern that I'm not using for it. I changed my mind because the pattern that I listed on my projects page is for lace weight yarn, and this is not lace weight yarn, so the pattern wouldn't have worked out. So I found another pattern, and it's a scarf from, I believe, Pearl Soho, but it's like lacy detail on the bottom, and then it's just regular stockinette, and then lacy detail on the bottom. So I'm just doing the lacy detail part, but I don't know if I like it. You tell me. So here's what I have. I don't know if you can see that, but they're supposed to be like leaves. I've only done like one, maybe two whole leaves. So this might be another frogged project. It's been sitting here, not worked on, not only because I didn't feel good, but because I just was tired of looking at it. Do you ever like start a project and then it doesn't go the way you want it to, so you just like loathe even thinking about it or looking at it? I do that. So there's that, and then I have my Lafayette shawl. I believe I'm calling it the Dragonfly Lafayette shawl because of the name of the colorway of the yarn I'm using. I haven't gotten any farther on it, but I wanted to show it to you again just in case you forgot what it looks like. So pretty. I really cannot wait for this to be done because, I mean, how gorgeous. And I'm thinking about using the stitch markers on this one. So it's worked from, I don't know how to describe it, but where you start, where the cast on is the top part, and then you're working it in this direction. So I mean, it starts out this small, and then it gets this wide, and then you make it smaller again, but it ends up turning into a triangle. So this is it upside down, and then this is the way that it will lay when you actually wear it. So that's that. I'm not going to be ripping this out, but when I finally get a chance to work on it, I will show you that progress. I don't have a progress keeper like some people do with a little claw doodad, but I will be showing you the progress on that. I wanted to also mention that these two items that I'm wearing are items that I knit myself. This is the Gifty Slouch beanie, my go-to beanie pattern. I've had it knit up for a while now because every year I do a holiday boutique. A friend of mine holds it at her apartment. She's super crafty. She asks a couple of girlfriends to get together who are also crafty, and allows us to come into her home and sell our handmade goods. So this I made not last year, so 2014. This one I made for last year, 2015. And I have a project, I have this on my project page in Ravelry. It's just a Brioche Infinity scarf. I don't know the yarn details offhand, but there's yarn details and the knitting needles, the sizes that I use on my project page. I'll link it below. And then I also wanted to mention, I think, one more thing. Excuse me. I recently watched Ming Mao 1 on YouTube. Her, I guess it's a podcast, vlog. Amy G. She was mentioning something about a knitting journal where she's going to be writing like the patterns that she's doing, I believe, and the yarn that she's using, and then I believe a picture of the pattern that she used the yarn for, as well as a little scrap of the yarn, which I think is an awesome idea. I have had that idea for a long time. I always take a picture of every single thing that I make, whether or not I keep it or give it away or toss it out. I always take a picture. I always take in progress and finished, or obviously I just keep the in progress if I don't finish it. But that way I can like look back and see, oh, you know, like what worked, what didn't work. And that's why I like Ravelry, because I'm a very big note taker. So I like to keep notes. I never use the yarn suggestions that pattern suggests, nor do I use the knitting or crochet hook size that they suggest. I always go up a couple of sizes. I'm not a tight knitter or crocheter. I just like the way that fluffy stitches look. So I always go up. I always go bigger. So if you go to my projects page on my Ravelry, you'll see a lot of the projects that I have up there have notes. So if you're looking for one of the patterns that I've worked, and I tell you that it's in my project page, let me know if my notes are helpful. I put them there to be helpful, not only for me but for other people, because like I said, I go up needle or hook sizes, so that affects like stitch count. So a lot of the times I will put that there, and I'll maybe note, if I can figure it out, what multiple you would need to add or subtract so that it will work for you if you decide to use that yarn as well. So like I said, I take pictures of everything that I make. I have not printed them out. I have them all saved on my computer or my phone, and I plan on printing them out and putting them with, you know, the patterns that I use, as well as notes on the yarn, because I don't think I have the scrap of yarn left over. But I wanted to show you, I have this little book that my sister sent me for Christmas. It's just a regular like journal, and I'm using this notebook here for my YouTube show notes, and my son signed it because he said he wanted to put his autograph in my book. So I said okay. So I have show notes in here. I basically just write down, okay, video number 1, 2, 3, whatever they're titled, and then what I talked about. So that way I can look back and say, okay, the last video I showed was, there's an airplane flying over. I apologize for that. So it says here the last video I shared was finished objects and works in progress. Good. I know what I shared. I know, so that way I'm not showing the same things or talking about the same thing every single video. So there's that book. I also have an unofficial binder that I started out with crochet patterns, because I started out as a crocheter, And I got the idea because my aunt, who is also a crocheter, had given me this little, I guess these are called report folders of her favorite crochet patterns one year for Christmas. And I just thought, like, not only was that like a really sweet, thoughtful gift, you know, she wrote a little hand note here. I mean, this is something I'm gonna like treasure forever because a lot of thought went into it, you know. I find that a lot of the people that I have met who knit and crochet are very thoughtful people. A lot of the things that they give are given with extra thought and love and care, and I really appreciate that because you don't find that many people in real life, you know, who share not only your same interests but who are also caring as, you know, as caring as you are. Because a lot of times you'll do for people that, I don't want to say don't deserve it, but you know, you do for them because you feel like, you know, that's just who you are, you have a big heart, and they don't appreciate it. So that's one thing that I really admire about the knitting and crochet community that I have, you know, grown to know and love, you know. So thank you guys for, you know, just being who you are. But anyways, I just felt like this was just so awesome. I mean, she's got some blanket patterns in here. I believe, you know, all of these are free, so it's okay if I show you like real quick. But there's patterns in here from Red Heart, Bernat, I want to say Patons, I think that's what it's called, Patons, Lion Brand. They're all just, you know, free patterns that she put in here for me, and that got me thinking, well, maybe I should, you know, print out my own patterns. So I have this binder which has, you know, my favorite family pictures. So this is my family. This is me, my husband, and my son, our son. So I have this picture on here so I know, okay, this is crochet. I don't know how that correlates with crochet, but there's a lot of junk in here too, and it's really heavy because I just kind of throw things in here. But I have a notepad that's slipping out. I have the dividers in here with the pocket so I can slip things in here. So in this first one I have my Susan Bates knit check, and this thing is awesome. I don't know if you can see that because it's shiny, but you know, you check your needle gauge here and you check your gauge here. You put the stitch, you know, lay it over your stitches so you see how many stitches per inch. And then I don't know why I bought this, but this is basically the same thing. It's just a gauge. Tells you what kind of yarn is good for whatever sizing needle or hook you're using. You stick it in the hole there, line it up. As well as some post-it notes. You never have too many post-it notes. So I have, you know, mostly crochet patterns in here, and it's just the patterns. And then, you know, I have patterns written up, and then I highlight my notes so that I don't have to go on Ravelry every time and figure out how did I do that. But I have like a section for beanies, and then amigurumi, and I also have like a unofficially marked section for knit patterns that I have. A lot of them in here are free, but there are some paid for patterns that I cannot show you. But this is the pattern that I had the yarn store print out for me. The Rose City Rollers by Mara Catherine Briner. Ooh. And I first saw this pattern, or heard of this pattern, again from Amy Mingmao, and I just thought those would be a perfect first sock pattern, even though I didn't choose to use that for my first sock pattern. I don't know why. So I thought might as well print it out, because I can get it printed out in color, and that way, you know, if I want to use it. I think I'm going to use this pattern for my pair of sock with that purple yarn that I showed you, but I don't know. I don't know if I want ankle socks or if I want like calf length socks, because I have really big calves. So I don't know, I'm scared that they're going to either be too tight or they won't stay up and they're going to slide down. I don't know. Do you, maybe you guys can comment below with whatever your favorite sock pattern is. I want to buy the Fish Lips Kiss Heel pattern, which is only $1. And I think I have $1, so I can buy that. But I know Erin, Gimme Yarn 418, uses that on a lot of her socks. So I think I will be purchasing that so that I can add that in there to whatever pattern I decide to use. I also have some cute little monster guys in here from Danger Crafts. Oh, sorry. Let's do this. So this guy is Presley Cash the Monster. And then I have Ursula and Uma, the Understanding Monsters. I think I purchased like a 5-pack pattern from her Etsy, so I will link her Etsy store below, because I mean, her patterns are awesome. She's the pattern writer, book writer of the Monsters, Knitted Monsters book that I showed in the last video. But I believe whatever pattern she publishes in her book, she does not post, or she doesn't, you cannot buy them in her Etsy store. You have to, if you want them, you have to buy her book. Which I think is pretty cool, because, I mean, if you can just buy them online, then she won't be able to sell any of her books. So I think it's very smart that she did it that way. So anyways, here's Sherman. I had bought this with the intention of making it for my son, which I haven't started yet. And then I also got Daphne and Delilah. And I've had these. I think these were my first purchased knit patterns. But I figured since I have the book out, I might as well show you. And then I also have Jerry, the musical monkey. And I first saw him, I believe, on No Knit Sherlock or Nick Nacaroni on Instagram. I'll have to double check that information for you. I'm not sure. And I think that's it. That is everything. We are going on 30+ minutes. I'm sorry that the video is so long. I was going to do the Q&A / work in progress / acquisitions video, but I feel like this video is already way too long, so I'll probably stop this video and then do the Q&A separate, and then, you know, post them when they both upload. So you get a 2-in-1 day. I'm sorry if this video is kind of like scatterbrained. I really didn't write notes, even though I should have, and I dropped the phone, so there's that. But I wanted to get out here and show you guys, because I feel like, I know it's only been like 9 days. I feel like I need to make a video, because I'm like itching to make videos now. I don't know why. But I think it's fun for me. I like watching the podcasts. I've been watching them like every night, and every night that I don't work, I should say. And, you know, I know some people enjoy watching them, so I'm having fun making them. I hope you guys are enjoying watching, even though I'm not like a pro. Okay, now I'm rambling. So, Anyways, keep an eye out for the Q&A video. I mean, I didn't get that many questions, but I got enough questions to, you know, make a small short video to talk about. So keep an eye out for that. I'll be uploading both of these videos today. I hope you guys have a great day and you're staying warm where you are. It says it's 43 here in Fremont, California, but it feels like it's like 32, and it should be snowing, but maybe my skin temperature gauge is off. I don't know, but I'm freezing over here. Anyways, I'm gonna go now. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.